Hey everybody, it is Saturday. Sit back and chill out, and I have got a little bit of a rant to go through that has to do with Adobe. If you've been hearing about what's going on and some of the comments. Anyhow, I've got 5 issues to cover here. Let's get started. Are we ready for this? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new to the channel, this is dedicated to photography and being a photo artist and pushing yourself out creatively to think out of the box. All right, let's jump into today's program. I call it Saturday, sit back and chill out, or sit back and chill. And basically, it's going through some of the private emails that I've gotten over the last few weeks, trying to get caught up on things. I try to do this once a month, and this is released on a Saturday. And the first thing I want to get out of the way, we're going to have 5 different things. So uno number 1, let's jump right into it. And that is, I hate Adobe. I'm reading from some comments that I have seen on YouTube. Bad Adobe. Adobe, what are you doing? The Adobe empire is falling. Oh my goodness. Everybody run to the hills here. I didn't jump on the bandwagon, I should say, on this for the fact that I'll get to my pet peeve regarding this issue with Adobe. But this security things, or they're going to be using your images for AI and all these other things. Everybody's all up in arms about private security, and the list goes on and on. Does it bother me? The answer is no. I know Adobe. I've been with them, not personally as an employee, but I've been around their environment as an instructor for a long, long, long time. I've been following other people who have been around longer than I have. I've been following people from Adobe, and the only thing that I can't say upset with, but, you know, good for, and I don't know how true this is, but the U.S. is suing Adobe for making it hard to relinquish your, fees or whatever. In other words, you're going to quit Adobe, quit subscribing. And they make it very difficult and hard to do, especially, I guess, on the annual, if you're paying, a year in advance, whatever. I don't know if that's really true or not. And the reason I'm saying that, unless they changed recently, but during my career, there are times where I was going to be on leave for 3-4 months, whatever, and not do anything with Adobe Photoshop at all. And so I just canceled my subscription and for 2-3 months, and then I came right back on. I didn't find it hard or difficult to do that. Now, again, maybe it's changed because it's been a while, but I do have a couple of friends I've known for a bit in small business, and they're a seasonal type business. In 6 months, they will use Adobe Photoshop to create certain things for their business, and then their business changes for the other 6 months, and they don't even use Photoshop at all. So they always cancel their subscription. So they use it for 6 months, they cancel for 6 months, then come back on, back and forth. I asked them, did you have any problems canceling your subscription? And they go, well, no, why? Well, over the internet, everybody's whining and complaining that it's very challenging and difficult to do it. And again, I guess the U.S. government stepping in to sue, whatever. But again, I'm not an attorney and I don't know all the details on that. If that's the case, well, yeah, that's a good thing that the government's getting on their back to say, hey, you're making it easy to opt in, but you're making it hard to opt out. And that should not be like that. So, okay. But, if that's the case, trust me, Adobe will do the right thing and change. But all this other stuff I hear about, I could care less. But here's my pet peeve about what's going on with this Adobe stuff. And that is, it's other YouTubers out there and other photographers who are hitting me up privately or by email saying, you should stop using Photoshop. They're just, and I'm going, no, because nothing comes close to what Photoshop can do for me personally, based on my work. Now, I know other people that they just do basic things. And if they get ticked off at Adobe about something, oh, well, I can get it. I'll go get, Affinity Photo or some other software because it gives me exactly what I want. I'm going to cancel. Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm not telling anybody to cancel. I'm not telling anybody to stay with them, whatever. You do what you want to do, what's right for you. But what I don't like is the fact that you're telling me and other people that you should let go of Adobe and quit. No, I'm not going to quit because the type of work I do, I need a certain plugin that I need, and my workflow is really keen and fast in Photoshop, and I am too old to sit there and learn something new, especially when it's not going to give me what I want. So am I leaving Adobe? Nope. In the foreseeable future? Nope. And that's all I'm going to say about that, okay? I'm just telling you, you do what's right for you, but don't tell me that I have to do, cancel my subscription or whatever. All right, so that's number one issue. Let's go to number two. And number two issue is I need to clarify something because I think people step in at the wrong time or whatever when they watch videos. But I did a video that was released on 6/26. Today's the 29th of June. And it was about the blur feature to give that bokeh a look in your photographs to make it look like you're shooting with a 1.2, 1.4, even 1.8 fast lens, and you don't. You're using a lens that might be shooting at 5.6 or 6.3, but yet you made it look like it was a 1.2 by using what I showed in the Camera Raw feature that Adobe has that they added just a few weeks ago. And a lot of people are saying, oh, you're telling people not to buy fast lenses and stuff like that. I never said that. If you can afford a fast lens, 1.2, 1.8, whatever, 1.4, and it fits your budget, who am I to say what you should buy or not buy? What I was trying to emphasize is a lot of people would love to have those type of lenses, but they can't afford it because most people that watch this channel and other channels out there in photography, this is a hobby. And yes, it could be a very expensive hobby. And a lot of people would love to be able to shoot with a 1.2 or 1.4 lens. They just can't afford it. Now they're coming back and going, wow, I can have that look with a cheap lens because of AI or the technology that are now built into softwares? And the answer is yeah. And then people get into the debate, well, I can really tell if you look over here. You know what? Maybe you can tell, and maybe you can't. But you know who doesn't care? Clients don't care. Because one thing I've learned is that clients only care about one thing, the end result, the end product. They're happy, they pay their bill. That was pounded in my head years ago with professionals been in business. There's only two things you're concerned about. Number one, delivering what the client wants to make them happy. Number two, happy clients pay their bills, period. They don't care what software you used. They don't care what camera you used. They don't care what lens you used. What they care about is the end result. And so this thing about, I know that manufacturers of lenses don't want people to get too excited or to know about these software features to create the illusion that you have a fast lens, so you don't have to go out and spend the money. You could, get a cheap lens and do it. But hey, that's technology, and that's the way things are going. I mean, people complained when there was automatic, focus features. Where the old days we had to manually focus. Oh, that's cheating to have autofocus. You could still manual focus if that's what you want to do, okay? It gives people choices, that's all I'm saying. All right, so that was issue number two. Now, let's take a look at issue number three. And number three is, and I apologize for this, but I have nothing to do with this. And this is my, minor little dig to Adobe, but it's nothing major because I grew up with Adobe for years and years. And that is when I did a feature on how to create a painterly look using AI with your own image. It was a really cool feature that I use quite often. And it was, I got busy with other things, and I got a comment from somebody that's saying, hey, the painting feature, it doesn't work. I'm following everything you're doing on video. It flat out doesn't work. And so I go, what are you talking about? So I went And I went through the steps, and I'm going, son of a beach ball, I'll have to say. And that is, I'm found out it didn't work. So sorry, but that's not my fault. So this month, July, coming up on the 3rd, it'll be a Wednesday, I'll be releasing a different technique using AI to create a painting off of your image. But again, I can't guarantee it's going to work for who knows how long, because if Adobe, this is fairly new technology, it's changing the way things work and procedural things in their software. Let's see how long this painting technique will work. So I put up a different way of doing it. Hopefully that stays and sticks for a while. So I got a lot of comments on that. And by the way, talking about comments, let me just do a quick reminder here. And that is, if you have any suggestions, because this is where I'm getting ideas is from you people. And that is, my email address is right here at the bottom of the screen. But again, it is stephenphotoartist@gmail.com. Please feel free to email me privately, because I know a lot of people are afraid to make comments right on the YouTube channel because other people happen to see it. And maybe they're worried about other people making comments about what they made, and why, I don't know, but it just some people are like that. They want this to be more private. So that's why I'm not mentioning names on emails I'm getting here, because I want you guys to express yourself. And if you're going to hold back because you're afraid that I'm going to call you out or whatever, I would never do that, because my attitude about this whole thing and YouTube channel is to really make you think, but I also want to elevate you up and be positive and creative. And then there's a lot of negativity out there in the world, just general stuff as a whole. And so, things happen and we have to make the best of it and just move on. So I'm sorry that the painting technique didn't last that long with Adobe. So, but there's a different way of doing it. I shared that with you. We'll see how long that will last. And if that goes, then I'll have to figure out or find another method of doing that. All right, let's move on to number 4. And number 4 is, again, a minor dig to Adobe, but it is what it is when a company is developing and evolving their software. And that is, I got a lot of comments saying that, geez, I bought some actions or third-party actions from wherever, and they were fine for a while, and now they don't work, and I'm getting errors every time I try to run the action. And so I have found the same thing, because when I was like pretty new in Photoshop years ago, and I go, oh wow, people sell actions that will do some creative things or whatever. And so I got on that bandwagon for a little bit, and I go, well, that's cute, nice, but I'm probably never going to use this for client work, maybe personal work down the road, whatever. No, whatever. Then all of a sudden, I don't know, like a year or so later, the action doesn't work. And the reason the action doesn't work is Adobe changed, with an update to their software, the algorithms and the way they do things in the software. And all of a sudden, that action that I bought, or 2 or 3 actions that I bought, don't work anymore. And now you're at the mercy of the other party that sold it. Are you going to do an update? So that action that I bought from you a year ago or so now works with the newer update in Photoshop. And I hate to say this, but it depends on who you bought your stuff from. And I'm hearing stories that a lot of people are not getting any kind of updates, and they just felt like they wasted their money. So I would be careful about purchasing actions from people. Just make sure it's a reputable company and find out, hey, if there's an update on the way Adobe processes things, are you going to update the action to make it work that I paid for? I can't speak for anybody else, but I will tell you this. I have done something called setup actions that I learned to do years ago to help save me time in the production of my work. If you don't know what a setup action is, I'll cover that on July 10th, this coming month. And those actions to this day still work. They've been working for years. So you'll learn what a setup action is and why we would use that, no matter what type of photography that you do, whether it's portrait, landscape, you shoot models, product shots. Again, it doesn't matter. These are called setup actions. So anyhow, that is an issue that we'll cover. That would be number 4. So I'm sorry that you purchase actions and now they don't work. It's because the updates that Adobe is doing, and you just, whoever you buy it from, request them to fix it. And if they don't do it, well, I guess, again, you're out of luck. All right, so now let's go to number 5, and that is, and I love this, by the way. I got quite a few comments on, hey, Steve, I'm reading, I'm sort of paraphrasing this stuff. That's why I've got it written down so I don't forget. But basically, we need more about the philosophy of photography and working creatively with our camera, lighting, other type of equipment that's not camera related, like strobes and modifiers and other things, maybe little gadgets and stuff that we use a lot in photography. And I agree with that. I mean, basically, it's like too much is being done on software techniques, Photoshop or a plugin or whatever, over and over again. Can we get a mixture of different parts that have to do with the creativity of photography and using our cameras and lights and that kind of stuff? And like I said, I agree with that. So I'm starting on the 31st of July. Somebody had mentioned, I heard from past videos, some of your mentors that you have listed. And I forgot how many, probably like 10 or 12 mentors during my career that really stand out for me. And this has happened quite often, and somebody had mentioned, a few people, could you please share with us your top mentor? In other words, you can only pick one. Who is your favorite top mentor out of all the other ones? And we know the other ones are important, but if you can only have one, what would it be? And please explain why. So I thought that was a pretty good, idea to do, something a little bit different. And of course, when I get into that, I'll make sure that you understand is, the type of work that I do may not be what you want to do, but I'm trying to encourage you to do your research to find a mentor. But I think it's so important to understand, why I chose somebody as a mentor and what it has done for me. So I like that. And so that will be, I'll start that on 7/31. It'll be July 31st, and I'll occasionally interject things that throughout the month that is not software centric. We'll take a look at ideas and concepts of using our cameras creatively, lighting, that kind of stuff. So with all that out of the way, in fact, speaking of, I'm also going to do, I'm doing a little test with lenses and old camera and old lens under really poor lighting conditions to shoot. Right now I did 3 subject matters, very low light, high ISO, inexpensive lens again on an old camera. And you know what? The pictures came out awesome. So I'm going to do a little bit more research, and I will share with you the research on that down the road, probably in August. The other thing quickly is I'm sorry, but I'm really behind schedule on stuff. So everything I'm doing, I'm recording almost a month in advance because I'm getting a little bit behind and actually extra work on client work. And I promised myself I was supposed to be cutting back on client work, and it's not working too well. So I need to put my foot down. So probably going to be some changes going into 2025 where I want to spend more time on a YouTube channel and personal projects and very little time on client work. I just need to trim back. But again, I know in the past I had mentioned I stopped doing event photography. 2019, because of my age, I love doing weddings and other large events. And it was just draw the luck on timing, because we know what happened in 2020, and that I didn't quit doing, events in 2019 because of 2020. I was done, again, because it was just physically demanding on me being up in age and that. But, when somebody comes along and says, by the way, this is being showcased on June 29th, I will be shooting an event today and on the 29th. And that's because I call it the mafia approach. And not to offend anybody, if you're in the mafia, all right? I love you guys. I love you people, whatever. But when I say, what I call a little bit of a mafia twist on me, and that was, an offer was made to me that I could not refuse. And that's why I'm doing the event on the 29th. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So interesting how things sort of fall in your lap and you don't want to do it no more. And somebody just comes along and says, I'll make it worth your while to do it. Okay. So anyhow, with that out of the way, let's do me a favor, and that is please like this video. It helps with the algorithm. Again, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, the next time I upload a video, you will get notified. All right, so with that out of the way, people, let's get the camera out, push yourself creatively to think out of the box. Until next time, see ya.